Hey, what's up? This is Gary A. Swaby, and you're now listening to episode 94 of the Co-op podcast on thecoalition.com. And this week I'm here with Charles Singletary. What's up, Charles?
What's up, everybody? I'm glad to be back, and I am coming to you from San Antonio now. I think it's going to be a good show. We don't have that many people, but I'm sure we can carry it just fine.
Yeah, you moved over to San Antonio, right? How was that?
It's pretty good, man. It's going to get really, really good when we get all those conventions going. Like PAX South is in January, and then I'll have South by Southwest over in Austin in March. So I'm looking forward to all of that. Definitely be having some coverage up on the site.
Cool, that's good. And we've also got Michael A. What's up, Mike?
Hey, it was good, people. As usual, I apologize in advance.
Smooth.
Actually, wait, one question. Since you're in San Antonio, you know how Charles Barkley and the rest of the cast on the TNT NBA pregame show say that San Antonio does not exactly have the most beautiful women, putting it kindly. Do you find that to be true?
I do not actually. Um, I haven't really seen like a very dense area where that would even make any kind of sense.
Okay.
So
I
yeah.
mean, I'm not saying it's true. I don't know. I've never been to San Antonio. I do like the Spurs, longtime Spurs fan. I will say this: Tim Duncan's current girlfriend is from San Antonio, and that woman is flawless. So if she's the precedent, I might need to take a trip to one of those conventions down there. I don't know.
Hey
Might
man,
have
you are
to.
welcome. You are welcome for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we kind of steered in a different direction there, but it's cool. So, what have you guys been playing actually? What have you been playing, Michael?
Same thing. Forza Horizon 2. Um, and Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor. Try giving NBA 2K15 a try. Face scan doesn't work. I spent 2.5 hours plus trying to get that working because I checked 2K's official Twitter thinking, okay, they would announce something if it is glitched. Maybe I'm not doing it right. I legitimately turned on every light in my house, even lights in rooms that I wasn't in. Like the bathroom light was on, the bedroom, like everything. I turned on every light, opened every door. This place was bright. My eyes were hurting, and I couldn't get it to work. Come to find out that no one really could get that thing to work. Everyone was having problems with the face scan. Also, in addition to that, I've even tried just making a generic character and playing the my player, and I get randomly kicked off. And then I've made my player, and I played a few games, and I've made myself a power forward, and I'm like, I don't think 2K understands how to play the four at all because you really can't do much actually starting out. It's impossible. In fact, half the time the game will just move me to center, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be a center. I want to be a four. Like, it's not the same position. Why are you doing this? I know it happens sometimes, but not every game will I just be moved to center. It's not like I made myself 7'2" or something like that either. I think I'm 6'9", 6'10". Like, no, that's fine for a four. Like, let me be a four. And first game in, I had to guard Dirk, and then mid game it crashed, and I got kicked off the service. So yeah, 2K15 officially does not work, just like 2K14 and all the other 2K games before it. So I'm in a position now where if NBA Live at least functions, I will give it a try. I am that angry at 2K. I know everyone's like, "Oh, Live's gonna be horrible." I don't know. Video I saw of it looked promising. If it works, I'll play it. I'm not saying it's gonna be better, but as long as it works, I'd rather take a solid product that works than a great product that doesn't. So other than that, yeah, it's just mainly those two. Smash Brothers demo because I need to go ahead and get mine on the 3DS, and I'm just waiting for the Evil Within. Basically, I can't think of much else.
When does the Evil Within drop?
I think it's 2 weeks from now, or almost 2 weeks from now. I could be wrong on that, actually.
Okay, I kind of think that game's not going to live up to expectations, but that's just from what I've been hearing of it. And because Richard played at E3, and like I remember being in a presentation for it like 2 years ago
Hmm.
or last year or something, and like it bored me to death. Like me and Ed almost fell asleep in the presentation. Like it
It was
was,
that dull.
yeah.
Damn. Uh,
But I don't know, like maybe it will appeal to like hardcore, horror fans. people who liked the original Resident Evil games and stuff.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a nod to those. I'm just hoping that the controls aren't as bad, but it didn't look like it from the demo I saw. That the only one I saw was the one that everyone's seen, the trailer video. The guy escapes from the room and is getting chased by the dude. That's it. It looks cool, so I was willing to give it a try. I just hope it's good. But, I mean, shoot, they have. I mean, right now, shoot, and I've tried giving Destiny another chance because my friend she needed someone to help her get through the raid because she hadn't done the raid yet. So I got through the raid, and this is the sixth time I've done the raid, and I finally got raid armor for the first time. So
Oh,
yay!
wow, that's
I
good.
got one piece of raid armor. So now I'll have to do it at least three other times to get raid armor. That's gonna be fun playing the same raid, especially since apparently I didn't know this. We're not getting another raid until December. So we'll be playing the same raid every week
That's
until
crazy.
December.
Man,
I'm
they
kind of
could have.
surprised that there's no raid coming with the DLC. It doesn't DLC come before then?
I believe so. I thought it comes out like early November, like late October. But there won't be a raid in it until we're not getting another raid until December. This is the game that's supposed to last 10 years, people. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Destiny a lot myself, but I kind of feel like they could give away some more content, man. Like
Like
it
they
doesn't
could give,
seem that hard. They've already got the formula. They could put
they've
some
already
new
got five
missions and
hundred
stuff.
million dollars. Like they could give away content. Give us another planet.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get that in December. But Charles, what have you been playing?
Since I have access to a PS4, I'm catching up on a couple of things. I'm really, really late on this, but I've been playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag because I didn't want to play it on previous generations. And my feelings with that whole franchise have been up and down. But I gotta say, Black Flag is the one that is definitely the most enjoyable Assassin's Creed game I've played since Brotherhood. Like the naval battles are amazing. The whole pirate ship thing and all the extra stuff that you can do, I really enjoy it. The graphics are beautiful. Nothing extremely outstanding, but it's pleasing to the eye. But the game is a lot of fun, and I'm going to be playing a whole lot of horror titles this month, going forward, and more content for that should be popping up sometime soon. But that, and then I'm waiting to play Drive Club also. Oh, and I don't know if Mike knows about this game, but Project Cars looks really awesome as well.
What's the date for that? I was wondering.
I just saw a post for that go up. I'm gonna take a look and see. Later on, I'll probably update.
Okay.
But
Has
yeah, I'm
anyone
looking
in
forward
here
to that also.
played Alien, the new Alien game?
Now I watched Tony's
I,
gameplay. It looks
I
fun.
watched people play it. I'm not really interested in it. It just looks boring to me.
It is very slow pace.
Yeah.
You have to go into it with that mindset, which I appreciate that actually for this type of
I
game.
assume though it's main. I mean, I like Alien, like the films. I haven't read the books or anything like that. I've only watched the movies for Alien. So I
Yeah,
mean, I enjoy the films mostly. So I'm like, for that, it does seem like it's an honest homage to the films. Honestly, I can respect that. It's just that the gameplay was really dry to me. But I
yeah,
mean, I could see it having a following. I mean, because lots of people have said, like, I mean, it's gotten mixed reviews, mixed reactions from people, but the people who do enjoy it seem to really enjoy it. So it's like
yeah.
a hit or miss title, I suppose. I was just wondering if anyone else has had gotten any hands on it with it. Yeah.
Nice. I'm not really into aliens like that, so yeah.
Ah, okay. You're more into Attack the Block, I assume, huh? If they made a game like that, you play.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more into that.
Allow it, fam.
Say what?
Allow it, fam.
I didn't hear you.
It's probably for the best.
Okay. All right. As for what I've been playing, I've been playing Destiny, of course, and I've been playing Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishment. I have a review for that game on the site right now, so definitely check that out.
I forgot
Um,
that dropped. I wanted to see that too.
yeah, have you played the previous Sherlock Holmes game?
No, I didn't
Okay.
even know there was a previous one.
Yeah, there was. It was called The Testament of Sherlock Holmes, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know anything
Wait,
about that either.
wasn't that like the PC game where I think I've watched people play that one? It was like a point and click kind of game when it came to expecting crime
Yeah,
scenes. Okay,
yeah.
I've watched people play that. Looked fun. I didn't know that was on consoles. I thought that was only for PC though.
Yeah, I mean that one might have just been for PC, but the new one is on consoles because I've been playing it on PS4. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's on Xbox as well. Um, it's a good game, man. I like it. I'd never played the previous one before. I own it on Steam, but I never actually played it. But this one is really good. I'd say it's on par with LA Noire. Like
Oh, nice.
the animation of the characters isn't as good, and but from a presentation standpoint, it holds up. Like, and there are parts of the game where you have to read people's expressions, just like in LA Noire.
Hmm.
And
I'm glad there's two people in this podcast that also enjoyed LA Noir because a lot of people gave me crap for it, and I really enjoyed that game.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I liked kind of the spin at the end of the campaign about who
Yeah, I
did
thought
all
it
the.
was. Yeah, it was a good twist, and I think it was a good foundation if they wanted to go forward with at least the engine.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't have to be like a direct sequel, but I thought that I like mystery stuff, so you know, gathering clues, interrogating people. I thought that was awesome, and they should have followed it up with something.
yeah,
yeah.
I enjoyed LA Noire, but only really the first half. I kind of feel like it fell off after the first half of the game.
When you start investigating arson, I think it kind of falls off, but it picks back up towards the end, big time.
Yeah, and I also have a problem with the fact that it was like an open world, but there really wasn't much to do in there. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
wasn't.
was
Like, it was
open for
open
no reason.
world. But
yeah,
I'm like, eh.
but yeah, definitely check out Sherlock Holmes if you're into, detective and investigation stuff.
I'm a
Like,
huge Sherlock
really
fan,
good.
so I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
Sherlockian over here.
yeah. I mean, one of my main criticisms with it is that they didn't go into Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson's characters as much as they should have during the
Hmm.
cases and everything. I mean, there are cutscenes between cases where they try and bring out their friendship and everything, but during the actual cases themselves, you don't really get a sense of their friendship a lot. And Dr. Watson, yeah, he doesn't really express himself much throughout the game, which is surprising considering, he's the one who he logs a journal of everything they do together. So he should have
Yeah.
played more of an important part, I think. But yeah, it is good though. Any Sherlock fan should enjoy the game. So check it out. So moving into this week's topics, uh, we'll start off, we'll start off with Smash Bros. So the Wii U release date has been announced. It's coming out November 21st in North America and December 5th in Europe. So, Michael Egg, you mentioned earlier that you're going to get the 3DS version of the game, but
Yeah.
are you also looking forward to the Wii U version?
That's yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward more to the Wii U version than the 3DS version. Um, Obviously, the people who play that game competitively will be playing it for the vast majority on the Wii U. The game's going to look better and most likely run better as well. Because on the 3DS, as well as it runs, they said that assist trophies run at 30 frames per second, while everything else is 60. On the Wii U, everything's going to be 60. Not that it's a huge deal, frames per second, but for fighting games, it actually matters because people count frames for moves and whatnot, and you let you know what's safe, when you can attack, things like that. It's just it matters for the strategy of the game. So I'm really looking forward to Smash Bros on the Wii U. And now I know the date that I have to get it. I had a Wii U, gave it to my cousin on graduation. Now I know I got to get another one November 21st. So that's for just for Smash and for Bayonetta 2. So there's some titles on the Nintendo and a new Zelda, and I need to go back and play that Donkey Kong. Oh my God, so many Wii U games I gotta play. So yeah, it's November is gonna be a good time for me. I'll be grinding out there. I need to
Have
double up
you
with my
heard
next two consoles.
have you heard the complaints about like the 3DS version of Smash Bros? Like people complaining that the screen size is too small and
Yeah,
the
I've heard
buttons
that.
hurt your hand and everything.
People are complaining that like playing the game is giving people like arthritis or something like that. Which I'm like, how do you get arthritis in a week? That makes no sense. But like, I understand what you're saying. Like, their hands are in an uncomfortable position playing it there. The trackpad, not the trackpad, the nub that you use to move the left nub. People are breaking their nubs off playing this damn game. Which to me, I'm like, you're not going MLG on Smash Brothers on your 3DS. Calm it down, bro. All right, you don't really need to be mashing that nub that hard. It's meant just as entertainment on the go. Calm down, right? Like no one was playing Street Fighter 4 on a 3DS and going crazy like that. Like why would you do that for Smash Brothers? I assume it's probably because Smash came out first on the 3DS. I don't know. The screen size thing, I don't know. I've had playing the demo. The screen size is perfect for me. I have no complaints. I don't know why other people are. I would say the only complaint that I could understand people having is like their hands getting sore after playing for extended time. And to those people, I think a lot of them are probably playing on the original 3DS in terms of the size of it. I have a 3DS XL, so for me, I mean, because I have big hands, I could not even play the original 3DS. I was like, no, this is not going to work for me. So when they announced the 3DS XL and it came out in all black, I hopped on that real quick. Um, so for me, maybe it won't be as much of an issue. For those people, if they have 3DS SLs, they're probably not having much issues. But yeah, for the original 3DS, I could see that being an issue. And I wouldn't even really know how they would go about it. All I can tell them is that, you know what, just deal with it until November. Then you won't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah. Charles, do you have any interest in Super Smash Bros?
I have a kind of a passing interest in it. I've never purchased one. I've always played other people's titles with that. Um, this one, I'm considering getting. I'd have to get me a Wii U, but I want to get the console specifically for Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'll probably get it around then and get Smash Brothers at the same time, which I think that'll be early next year. On the as far as the 3DS goes and all the issues people are having, me personally, I never had an interest in playing it on the 3DS. Like just that type of title never really appealed to me. Just like with PlayStation All Stars, like it was cool that it came on the Vita, but I would play that on a console, like on a larger screen. So the complaints with the smaller screen, I can understand. The arthritis thing is a little confusing. I don't know how that is specifically a result of this game versus anything else. Like unless they're making you do some kind of weird position to play it in, I don't know. That's weird, but other than that, I don't have too much insight on it, but I am looking forward to playing it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about it myself, except I might give it a try on 3DS one day. I don't know when, but I mean, the fact that it's got all those Pokemon characters and all these different characters and stuff, that's enough to intrigue me and try the game out. So yeah, I might give it a try one day. But moving on, Xbox One. Good news here. Xbox One has sold 100,000 units during its launch week in China. So, they sold like 25,000 units in Japan, and now they've sold 100K in China. So that's great news for them, and it shows that they could dominate another territory other than Japan. So that's great. What do you think about it, Michael?
Sorry, I missed what you said. What did you ask?
Just about Xbox One selling
Oh, the
100,000
Chinese.
units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't. It's nothing but positive news for them. It's good to see. I hope they don't dwindle on this opportunity they have here, and put that infrastructure and start hoping, trying to build their gaming development culture and whatnot up. There's tons of people there. There's tons of talent there. You could capitalize on that. Start building building relationship with. Start helping them build development agencies over there, and start in developing partnerships with them. You'll see sales continue to flourish there. You can put more effort there. Stop wasting time on Japan if you're Xbox. They're not buying your system there. So why bother? China is showing that they're 100,000 at launch, and we've seen 4 Xbox One sold in Japan. Like, I'm sorry, I still don't see why you're wasting time. This is great news, and I really do hope they capitalize on it, because if not, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's regions where people do want to play Xbox, and China's clearly one of them. I'd like to see some company, even if it's not Xbox, look at India, which is another huge landscape that for future gaming endeavors, and Australia, which doesn't get enough love. I know a lot of people in Australia complain about game prices, system prices, release dates, so on and so forth. Like Xbox could, start maybe making them get their games around the same time everyone else does, and ensuring that they pay fair prices. And lo and behold, you probably see an increase in Xbox sales there. They already like the Xbox in Australia. But yeah, this is great news for them. I don't really see anything This is not just great news for them. This is great news for gaming. Period. Because I think you'll soon see the other companies try and release their consoles there. I don't know if they'll do as well because China doesn't exactly have fond feelings toward Japan. So, but yeah, it'll be kind of interesting seeing them have to deal with what we had to deal with releasing our console over there. So,
Do you think that this could help turn the tide? Like, because Sony are kind of outselling them, like from a global point of view at the moment.
mm.
But do you think that uh,
Long run, yeah, this could help. This will help them. I don't think, like, I mean, I think everyone gets it twisted. The Xbox isn't selling poorly. It's just that the PlayStation 4 has been selling amazing. Like, they both are selling amazing. It's just that the PS4 has been selling even better. A, because they had a price advantage at launch, and B, they had a PR advantage. Like, it was the good system. All the gamers, it was. Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me?
hello?
What happened there?
Yeah, that
It
was
said
strange.
it said there was a server error.
Yeah, that's what I got too. I was like, what happened there?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought that was just me.
No,
it
it was
says it's
everyone.
still recording though, so hopefully, the recording isn't sabotaged.
Is there any way to check on that? Well, I guess you'd have to stop recording, so that's kind of a double-edged sword, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, we can keep going, and if it doesn't work, we can record again tomorrow. I don't have anything to do tomorrow. It's Friday. As sad as that is, but yeah, it's true. So, but it's true.
By the way, update: Project Cars release date is November 18th.
November 8th. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't think that was coming out this year. Damn.
Yeah, me neither. I'm
But that
definitely gonna
was
have to check that out.
same here. I thought that was a 2015 release date. All right, good to know. I forgot what I was saying
Yeah.
I think
Well,
about
what?
China and the sales. I think I just finished my point anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. So Charles, what do you think about the whole sales thing?
hopefully this will be. This is probably going to echo what Mike was saying, but I hope that this will be the flag that makes someone in Microsoft up in the top tier be like, "Hey, maybe we should shift our focus," because, like you said, I don't think four is the correct number, but they're not selling well in Japan. I'm sure that sounds really nice to say that you did if you got to that point, but China is untapped potential.
Yep.
Like, you did not market towards them. Your launch titles don't appeal specifically to them. But you sold 100,000, and you tried to market towards Japan and couldn't get anywhere near that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a business sense, this makes sense. Focus on China. I don't know so much about India's market, but clearly there are untapped markets for you to jump into if you want to compete on a global scale with Sony. Because even in the past, that's something that Sony always had a strength in, is tapping into other markets. But it's open, it's there. Go for it. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, I pretty much agree with both of you. I mean, this puts them in good standing, and hopefully they continue the momentum because competition is a good thing. I mean, the PlayStation 4 is my console of choice, but I do want to see Microsoft do well because then gamers win overall. So, let's hope Microsoft can continue to build up steam in other territories. Um, so, yeah, next topic, Drive Club. Drive Club released this week in America and Europe, and unfortunately, it's been plagued by server issues and it's so bad to the point that they had to delay the free PSN Plus version that they promised. So I know you guys haven't had a chance to try out the game yet, but what do you guys think of this? Specifically, you, Michael A, because I know you had thoughts about Drive Club weeks ago. I know Charles was really looking forward to it.
Why does everyone
But
think I have no bad thoughts about Drive Club? Like, seriously, I just don't see this game to buy a PS4 for. There are
He just
more
has very
games.
sarcastic thoughts about it.
No, that's not even. No, seriously, I just don't think it's a system you buy a PS4 for. There's games coming in 2015 that for the PS4 that I think are a more driving point to buy the system. And who knows, there might be a price cut sometime. I mean, I'm not saying they need it, but you never know. Both systems might drop a new edition or a version that's $50 cheaper. I don't really know. For Drive Club, like I said, I haven't played it yet. It's unfortunate to hear about server issues on the game that it's been delayed. Like, I don't know. I don't see how Drive Club could have had issues. That game was supposed to be a launch title.
I
It's
know
literally
that's
been
what's so
delayed.
disappointing. Like,
Yeah,
this game was delayed a whole
a
year.
year, a year delay, and it comes out to server issues. Like,
I gotta
how?
wonder what would that game have looked like if it come out as a launch title like it was intended to? Because look how much time has passed. Like,
Yeah.
what exactly did you guys add? I know the graphics look like fantastic, but how are these issues not ironed out? Like if it would have dropped then, like would there have even been servers? Like you're having server
Mm,
issues this far, you know what I'm saying? This far
yeah.
later.
Yo, you know what's worse? Like, remember we were talking about the weather effects from that trailer and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um, they said apparently that's not actually in the game right now. Like they said they're gonna patch it in.
What do you mean
I
it's
did
not?
I did know that. I did know that that was supposed to be a day one patch or something.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
so
see, that's fine, I guess. Like, as soon as you put the game in, you download the small update for your. Well, yeah, that's still. I mean, I thought it was like, oh, you'd have to wait a month to get weather. I'm like, no, you can't do that. The game's been delayed a year. Weather should be there.
Yeah.
okay, because I think it was Bombcast I was listening to, and they said like those weather effects aren't even in the game yet. But
Yeah, no.
maybe it's because they got the game early.
If that is not a day zero install patch, I don't. Yeah, that's an issue.
That bothered
But
me. Now that would bother me significantly less than that BS damage that Gran Turismo tacked on via DLC. That was
yeah, I didn't. Oh my god,
ridiculous.
trying to compete with Forza's damage scale. Let's just patch it in, and it was not dynamic or realistic at all. It was just like, why?
It was terrible,
Yeah, it was
terrible.
really bad. My thing is with Drive Club. I mean, the reviews that I've read for the game, it's gotten solid reviews actually. Like no one's come out and said it's a bad game at all actually. So I actually do want to give it a try because I can't honestly have an opinion on the game without playing it myself. So I want to give it a try. I'll get on one of my friends' PS4s and play it. Who knows
Yeah,
when, especially if it's having server issues. But I'm assuming the server issue. I mean, they can't be as bad as NBA 2K servers, so they'll probably get that fixed
oh
sometime
my
soon,
goodness, that game
and hopefully
so
I'll be able to
broken.
play it. I hope this is not. I hope this isn't a long time issue. I don't think it will be.
It
I do
can't be
think it's
if
messed up that the PSN Plus version has been delayed. I think that's inexcusable.
yeah. I don't understand that part. Like, why would that be delayed
I
while the
think they're
game
trying
is
to lower server demand. They're trying to lower
Oh
how
wow,
much
yeah,
stress is
because
on the
that
servers.
would be a ton. That is a good point. But I hope this isn't a long issue because this game has been very centered around connected play with other people.
Yeah,
That's kind of what was going to set it apart from the Forzas and the Gran Turismo. So if this is a crippling thing and it takes as long as say like Battlefield 4, then that'd be sad. That'd be a
yeah.
huge hit to Sony actually.
And this is a new IP, so it's not going to get the same window of forgiveness that like Battlefield gets, being an
Right.
established IP already. Like they
Exactly.
don't have that ground. They kind of have to swing for the fences as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And the reason I'm saying this because generally, like, if the gameplay and if the actual gameplay is solid, but the people don't get to give it a real chance because of the servers, that'll be pretty sad.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen in games before. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still interested to see if the game's any good. Like I said, it can't be worse than that crew beta I played. So yeah,
Yeah, I think it's even worse for them that they're getting this negative press and they released so close to Forza. It just makes
hmm
Forza look
especially
so
after
much
trying to
better.
throw shade after Forza 2. They tried to
Yeah,
show heavy shade at Forza. And this is why I was like, this is not a smart move for you. It's not so much that I didn't think it could be as good or whatnot. It was just more so like you're going at a game with an install with a reputation, an installed user base, and one that already has servers coming up because it's basically a spin-off of a game that already came out a year ago. The servers and stuff like that for Forza are already up, so we knew that wasn't going to be an issue for them. And you're going right at them, like going for the jugular, and you slip on a banana peel. That's essentially what just happened to them. It's like, you could have done without that ad. You really could have. But I mean, I guess it did generate um, some interest in it because I think a lot of people just flat out forgot about Drive Club because it's been delayed so long. There was lots of buzz for that. Even I was interested in that game when I first saw it. I was like, this looks pretty cool. Um, over almost a year and a half ago when I first saw it, and then afterwards, just there hasn't been a whole lot. And then they released the trailers a couple months ago, but I was like, this game was supposed to be out already. So I don't know. I'm still gonna give it a try. Hopefully, the people who have bought the game are able to play it somewhat, because I'm like, Drive Club is an online game. Like, you can't play that without internet, right? Or without connecting to the servers.
I think you can.
Can you? That's okay. Good. That's at least they can play. Okay, that's why I was making sure. Because if there's a situation where like you're trying to play solo and it's like can't connect to servers, you can't play. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate. I had those servers up. I don't know. I'm still gonna give it a try.
You mentioned the crew before, and
Hmm.
these two games, they kind of seem like they're in the same boat because they've both been delayed for so long, and the crew is actually getting delayed further to December now,
Yeah.
which makes sense because Ubisoft has tons of games coming out in November, so
Yep.
it makes sense. But do you guys have any hope for the crew?
Nope.
No.
Nope. That's. I don't even think anything else needs to be said. No.
I've voiced
Especially
my
now that you.
concerns. I've
Yeah.
voiced my concerns with that title since it was announced. There was that brief moment where there was hope when they did the one trailer that went across country, but still no interest, man. I can't. No, I'm good.
After finding out Project Cars comes out in November, nah, I'm good. That's an L for them. Chalk that up.
Yeah, this is a super dense time for racing games, and
They
if
might
you're
as well
not,
just they might as well scrap that game and just put the driving aspects of that into the division somehow or something. I don't know.
please don't do that.
Hey, that was a horrible idea. Make it where you
please
buy
don't
the
do
division, get the crew free or something. Like do something like that. I don't know what to tell you.
at most, I want it to be like a hidden arcade you can go to and hop in a little car.
Yeah,
And
you walk up to the cabinet and you can activate the crew and play that in division. That's about it. I don't. Yeah, that's an L for them. They're gonna have to hold that one.
So was it the beta that turned you off of the crew?
For me, yeah, it was a beta. I played it. I was like, this is a hot mess, and I don't want to play this anymore. And I promptly deleted it. Because I was honestly, if you remember, I was like, this game is unique from all of them. This is pretty cool. And then when I was just playing it, I'm like, this is like it doesn't look ugly, but it feels ugly. If you get what I'm saying, when I'm trying to control the cars and whatnot, and you're driving
like
in it,
Cruising USA.
yeah, it just feel. Oh my god, so bad. It was like, yeah, like no, no. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that game comes out and it's amazing and it knocks everything out the park and I have to eat crow and I have to play the game and I love it. Is that going to happen? No.
Well, it seems like Forza will hold the crown for now until, we get Gran Turismo, is it 7? In like
Not
in like
No,
five
concerning.
years.
it won't even be 7. It'll be
Not
Gran Turismo Prologue, or Gran Turismo 6 Prologue. And then like
Gran
4 years
Turismo
later you'll get 7.
F Gran Turismo, like that franchise can die. Like I'd rather, I don't want people to lose their jobs. I'd rather the company dissolve and go work elsewhere. Like maybe half of that crew can go help the crew or something.
I won't say that. I mean, Gran Turismo, Forza needs competition in terms of the simulation market. I mean,
You're
in
right.
terms of
You're right. Well, Project
yeah,
Cars.
and Project Cars, yeah. I mean, yeah, Project Cars is a new competitor, and it might be on par with them. We don't know. It could be amazing. It looks promising. So I mean, it has my interest. I'll be trying that out in November. It's just that I don't know. Like Project Cars is multi-platform. Like
Right.
Sony would
Yeah,
need that
they
exclusive.
need a direct competitor. I don't know
Yeah,
if Drive
and
Club will be that because it's appealing. It's
I
trying to
know
appeal a different way.
Drive Club competes with Horizon. It can't compete with Forza. Like it's not even fair.
because of
It
the
would have to
customization.
be, yeah, customization and all that. It has to be GT.
They need to start from the ground up then. Like that's the only way I can imagine this getting. And it's crazy because they spend so much time developing Gran Turismo. They put so much work into it, but it ends up being a not very fun but very very beautiful showroom.
I always considered it to be a tech demo. Like, look how
That,
gorgeous
yeah,
these cars look. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. And you took so much time doing this. And there's so many cars, but it's like, yeah, there's like 900 cars. 200 of them are duplicates, damn near. And then you have to take into account things like the fact that there's less features in Gran Turismo than Forza.
yeah,
Like Forza,
and,
there are
and
people who buy Forza and they don't even race. They buy Forza and they all they do is tune cars for people. All they do is
yeah,
make skins for people. All they do is drift. They don't even do like regular races. All they do is drag race. Like when you who's buying Gran Turismo to just tune cars for people? Is that even possible? To have the same enjoyment that you would in a game like Forza, where you can just dedicate yourself to just doing that. I don't know. Like Forza GT is gonna have to open up the book and maybe incorporate more features into it. And who knows? I don't know any information about the new GT. Maybe they're going to be doing that. That is, they're a company, Polyphonic, I believe is how you pronounce it. They take their time and make a quality product. Like even though I still think Forza is a better product, I can never outright say that, oh, this game doesn't work. This game is glitchy. This game feels rushed. It feels polished. It's just that they seem to polish the aspects of racing games now that to me need to be expanded upon.
yeah.
Because that physics engine in GT, I'm sorry, it still doesn't.
It's
Forza,
done. It has not changed in so
no,
long.
it's still bumper cars. That
Dude,
is,
I can bounce off the freaking walls on a turn and destroy
yeah,
everyone in a race. Like that's
makes no
ridiculous.
sense. Meanwhile, I still remember the first time I played Forza. I was like, I hit a car and like lost control. I was like, wait, what? I can't just bounce off the other dude? What is going on? Because in GT, there are people who will legit like it's a legit tactic. In your turn, you just go a little too fast and bounce off another car to make the turn happen. You can't do
Mhm.
that in Forza. Both of your cars will be wrecked. So I don't know. I'm not saying I want a new GT to come out. I want to see what they're gonna do because we haven't heard from them in a long time as well. What was the last one that came out? 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, six kind of dropped under the radar.
And when did that even drop? That
It
came
came
out.
out like
It's
right
more recent than you
right
think.
after the PS4. Like it came out for the PS3, which was a bad idea. Like
Well, you can say that, but considering how long it takes them to develop a Gran Turismo, I'm not surprised
Yeah.
that it came out right then. So
I
yeah.
don't think they have as many people working on Gran Turismo as Michael does Forza. Turn 10 is huge. And that's all they do is racing games and go watch racing, go learn about cars. What's the fastest car in the world? What has the fastest lap on Nürburgring? Here, there, Daytona, all of that. That's all they do at Turn 10. And that's why they're able to get the physics right. That's why they're able to. That's why people are like. That's why real racers aren't using Gran Turismo anymore for quote unquote simulation track racing with car. No, they use Forza now. Like Forza is that car is that game. And maybe who knows? 5 years from now, that might be Project Cars, or it might be GT again. I don't know. I just want competition. I don't want there to just be one car game that just it's a landslide. Like they just go all across the line and they can go backwards and no one's there. I want it to be a photo finish because
do
that
you
benefits
think
gamers all over.
do you think that Gran Turismo could ever get to the point where they have two different Gran Turismo titles like Forza does, or do you think
I
they
mean, they
should
kind
do
of
that?
already do. It's just that they do it in a much more shady and money grabbing way. Like how many games in the Gran Turismo? What is prologue? It's like a demo you pay money for.
Well,
The only thing
I
I'd rather
mean,
they do is make a Gran Turismo that's like Horizon. So like,
that's what I was about to say. Yeah, like a open world racer, and
yeah, like I think they could do that. Who knows? Maybe the new one will be. I don't think it will be, but I mean, I think they should. It would work.
you
The
know what
only
I think
problem
would be
is
really
if they.
good
Well, what are we
if
gonna say?
if they did a street racing centric open world title, like tuners and all that, to kind of pick up
Yeah,
where
that'd
Need
be
for
an
Speed
avenue because
left
that would
off.
separate them from Forza and Horizon, and
Yeah,
and they would be competing instead with a Need for Speed, and on PlayStation they could get away with that.
yeah, they could. especially since Need for Speed really has fallen off
Yes,
significantly.
yes, it has. And that's what I was even thinking. There's no Metropolitan Street Racer, aka PGR. There's no Tokyo Street Racer.
Midnight
There's no
Nightclub.
all yeah, all those games where you were actually doing that. They could get away with that. That would be a great avenue for them to pursue. Only thing I'm thinking is if they have a slightly less simulation GT, then you'd have GT and then their offshoot. That offshoot would be a direct competitor with Drive Club.
Yeah, I think
I don't think it would be a direct competitor with Drive Club because Drive Club's not open world.
True, but Drive Club is like it's Drive Club's main appeal because I mean they say it's a social aspect. I'm like, there's social aspect racing in Forza already. There always has been. In Horizon, it's even more there. 1,000 member clubs. Are you kidding me? Like it's there.
Yeah.
Um, it's mainly that it's their answer to the whole arcadey yet simulation. It's like a hybrid of those two. It's not full arcadey, but it's not full simulation. That's what Drive Club is.
Yeah, I
It's
always got the idea that, Drive Club was supposed to be, the
A
stand-in
balance.
for GT because we're not going to get a GT for a while. But, you can have this game, it's more casual and more
yeah,
accessible for people.
Okay. Well, if that's
and
what Sony has planned, then I'm about that. Maybe the next Drive Club could go into you know like street racing clubs and stuff like that.
yeah, I can see that.
That
Like
would
this is
kind of
like this is a new IP, so they're building a foundation. They're gonna expand upon it.
Yeah,
yeah.
because I don't
They
think
gotta
they
get those
can.
servers together.
Yeah, I don't think they can use polyphony to, create that casual experience because they take way too long on a game. I think they're perfectionists and, they want to
Yeah.
make the perfect sim game. So they're probably working on that. So
With a
Sony
perfect
can,
sim game in their eyes, which to them is just
Is a
hard
showroom
that
title.
yeah, it's a showroom. I don't because I think the physics in that game like it's bumper cars. I don't understand that. You would think they'd want to discourage people from actually contacting other people or things and how those beautifully modeled cars. Nope, you can just bounce off people.
yeah. Okay, well, let's get into our main topic now, the resolution gate thing.
Uh oh.
So, so Ubisoft, they came out and said that the resolution for Assassin's Creed Unity is locked at 900p and 30 frames per second on both next gen consoles. Now, of course, that sent the web into a frenzy because everyone they were making accusations that
Everyone,
they pretty much from what I saw they were
everyone. Are you sure it's everyone or not just a specific crowd of people?
which specific crowd of people do you think it is?
You know damn well who I'm talking about, Gary. Say it.
Fanboys,
Neoga.
the
Yes.
fanboys.
Yeah, the fanboys over at sites like NeoGAF and M4G.
Yeah, so the fanboys, they were making accusations that, Ubisoft, they gimped the PS4 version of the game to, be fair to Xbox One users. So, first of all, before we get into the rest of discussion, what do you guys think of that?
You want me to start that up, Mike, or you gonna go first?
No, you go ahead, bro. You
Yeah,
go.
you go ahead, Charles.
Okay. All right. Number one. Hold on. All right, sorry, my headphone popped out. Who gives a flying fuck? And to the people that do, I really want to know why. I want to know how this is hindering their experience with a multi-platform title in any way. Um, I don't understand it. As far as I'm concerned, with multi-platform titles, franchises, whatever, if they look the exact same, I'm big whoop. I don't care. The exclusive titles are where I'm concerned. Like even then though, I'm not gonna be, crying bloody murder about 30 frames versus 60 frames or whatever. Because I'll be playing PS4 and the order went whatever 30 frames in there, and going for more of the cinematic value and all that. Okay, that's cool. If the game is enjoyable, then that's fine. Um, I don't understand why these kind of things have become big issues, and are we just running out of stuff to talk about to where
Yes.
people just have to get up in arms about? And it's Assassin's Creed also. Like, that's a very dense title from what I've seen. And for you to have an open world title, 60 frames per second is not easy, nor is 1080p with a dense open world, because they have buildings that you can actually go into. It's not going to be like the old Assassin's Creed where you just have this big lush scenery, but you can't really do anything but climb up the side of it. They actually have buildings you can go into. There's a ton of AI walking around that's supposed to be very responsive. So the fact that it gets 30 frames and 900 FPS, not FPS, but 900p. Round of applause to them. That's awesome. If you could have done more on the PS4, hopefully somebody making an exclusive title for that will do that. I don't really care if it looks different from the Xbox version. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. But that's all I have to say.
Cool. What about
I'm
you, my guy? What's your
just
take on
gonna
it?
go off what he said. Hey, I mean, I don't disagree with anything he said right now. So that's number one. Number two, I'm just gonna go off on some of the absolute lunacy and stupidity. This is given birth to. Not surprisingly, the moment I heard, oh, the resolution gate, I was like, well, this isn't going to end well. Nothing intelligent is going to be brought up by them. It's going to be stupid, and stupid it was really. So we had the first theory that it was due to this parity clause that this is happening because Microsoft is forcing companies to do this, which doesn't make any sense because companies could just say, yeah, we're not signing this and we just won't release our game on your system. That would hurt Microsoft. Why would they do that, right? Also, the parity clause has nothing to do with graphics. It's about release dates, and it is actually for indie titles primarily. It has nothing to do with Assassin's Creed. That's dumb. If this clause was a real thing, Battlefield 4 wouldn't be 900p on PS4 and 720p on the Xbox One. It's already happened. Keep in mind, though, nobody in PS4 had a problem with Battlefield being 900p on the PS4. They were just happy that it was a higher resolution than the Xbox One version. Even though the two games side by side ran pretty much identically, and in terms of functioning, the Xbox One version ran better. But because they could say 900 is greater than 720, they had something to brag about to people, which was basically themselves, because nobody else really cared. That's number one. Number two, if the person making a game says that this has to happen and tells you why, and you choose to not believe them, that is fine. That's for your prerogative. But for you to say that they're lying with no proof, nothing empirical, just your opinion, you're an idiot. That's what an idiot is. You're proving yourself to be void of intellect. I tell you something is this way. I'm making this. You're saying I'm lying. Unless you can step up and do what I'm saying I can't do and prove that I'm lying, you are an idiot. If you could make this new Assassin's Creed at 1080p 60 frames per second on the PS4, do so. But you can't. You'd rather just sit at home on your keyboards pretending to be analysts and game development experts without ever having actually analyzed or developed any game and telling people who actually analyze and develop games what they can and cannot do. This makes absolutely no sense. They told you. The main reason it even has to be this way is because of the AI. They said, I could get this game running at 100 frames per second if I wanted to. But the AI is just too demanding. Well, that makes sense considering that it's an open world game with tons of NPCs that can't all act identically. It's a next gen game. You can't have six people repeated thousands of times anymore. No, we're not selling for that. They've got to expand. It's going to be more NPCs. They've got to have their own AI. The number of animations for each scenario you're in is astounding. And yet, no, I'm on NeoGAF, so I know better than you why you're doing this. It's because Microsoft paid you money to make the PS4 version worse than it could have been. This is the rationale these people are using. This makes sense to them. This is something to them that needs to be the amount of pixels on the screen playing. Keep in mind, graphics don't equal resolution. If you don't understand that, I can't help you. The game it can still look gorgeous. It will still look gorgeous. It won't matter what the resolution is. And if you think 900p is horrible and unacceptable, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there are people on PC who aren't going to be able to play this game in 1080p. I mean, albeit most of them will. Most of them, there will be a large number of them that can't. They're not going to blame Ubisoft for that. They'll blame their computer for that. They'll rig for that. Newsflash, the Xbox One and PS4s are not as strong as computers are for gaming. They just aren't. They're not as strong as you people like to think they are, especially the PS4. You people seem to think the PS4 is just this monster of a machine. Yes, it's stronger than the Xbox One. By much? No. And there are things the Xbox One can do better than the PS4. The gap isn't as big as you think. Developers have told you this. You insist on arguing against them. Why? We saw this with Watch Dogs. Like, that's why I'm saying it's the same thing. Remember, Sony comes out. Watch Dogs is going to be 1080p, 60 frames per second. Only console you can do that on. Ubisoft's like, we don't know why they say that because that's not true. It won't be that. Oh, it's not going to be 1080p 60 frames per second? Such a disappointment. This game sucks already. The game hadn't been out yet. No one had played the damn game. You're just saying these things because the resolution is lower than you thought? And the developer is explaining to you why it's lower than you thought? But instead you're assuming that there's some conspiracy and Microsoft is the reason why? Like, why would Microsoft even waste money on doing that? That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense when you think about it, but you'd rather believe it. Why? Assassin's Creed's going to come out. It could still be a quality game. I don't know if it's going to be good. I haven't played it yet. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the game's going to suck because it's 900p, 30 frames per second. That makes no sense. And then to top it all off, people wanted to hashtag... What was the hashtag they made up? I can't remember it now. Something stupid. No parity for PS4 or something like that. Where it's some hashtag where they were just like going at Ubisoft and saying, yeah, I'm going to boycott them. So your idea of getting Ubisoft to spend more time catering to your hardware on your console is to not buy their games on your console. Yeah, that makes sense. PS4 users, don't buy Assassin's Creed, right, at all, to get them to put more money into making games for your system. Am I the only one that sees the stupidity in this logic here? Or am I missing a step? Because this genuinely sounds stupid, and I don't understand how no one else sees this. You're going to make
stupid every single time that this goes down. And then another thing that I don't, just a simple point that I don't think people think about. You know, everybody, and it kind of touches off what you said. Everybody trips about, you know, the consoles not being able to reach it, but you know they bring up PC. Your $400 or $500 PC is not going to be running this title at 60 frames per second, 1080p.
Thank you.
You're going to be spending clear over that, maybe at least 800 if you have a Connect somewhere.
Yeah.
But you're going to be spending $1,000 plus, and these consoles are not.
And by Connect, he doesn't mean the Connect for the Xbox. He means a Connect to hook you up with a deal. For those of you who are just so fanboy that you hear Connect and think, "Oh, Microsoft, the devil, I hate you." That's not what he meant.
Yeah, you're going to be spending 900 plus to even get to that point to probably get 30 frames per second on.
And that'll be on stolen hardware that you're getting on the low on the streets. And that's us lowballing it. In my opinion, you're gonna drop 1,200 minimum. Yeah, that's just real.
And people expect these $500 and $400 consoles to just take these titles and just be blowing it out of the water.
Yeah,
like just because it was the next step from last gen. No, that's not how it works. And and we're getting a more streamlined product for a reason, and part of that reason is actually the developers themselves. Like, it's simpler for them to make these titles, and it's simpler for them to iron out the issues, and they have a more consistently consistent framework to work on, as opposed to PC where you have the drops and everything that can happen, even with graphic cards. Mm-hmm. They have a very, very, very balanced system to work on, and that's the benefit. The benefit isn't you getting 1080p 60 frames per second. Maybe you'll get that next gen, maybe not. If you want to spend $1,200 plus, then you go right ahead and do that. But that's not that's not the reality of where we're at right now. And I wish people would stop whining about it because it doesn't affect the gameplay
It does
at
not.
all.
And for a game like Assassin's Creed as well, I don't think it's that bad a thing because, you know, I mean, the developers said it themselves, you know, 30 frames per second is more cinematic. It's a more cinematic experience. And for a
Exactly.
game
It's
like
much closer
Assassin's
to
Creed, it
the
makes sense. I
it's much
mean,
closer to the 24 frames per second you watch movies in. So if they're going for a cinematic approach, that's what you want.
yeah, and look at the Order 1888. Like they said the same thing, you know, it's locked at 30 frames per second because they want the game to be more cinematic. So, you know, if you're not going to be mad at that, then you can't really get
Yeah.
mad at
Thank you.
this.
I was going to bring that up later. Where was the cry for the order when they said 30 frames per second? Why did no one? Oh, because the order you can only get on PS4, so it doesn't even matter what they make it, right? Because you can only get that on PS4, so that's fine. Assassin's Creed, a multi-platform title, got to be 60 at least on the PS4. Why? I just don't I don't understand. Like I don't like nothing they're saying and nothing they're planning to do makes any sense. Think about it. I'm going to not buy this game on my system to show you that you should make games on our system and focus more on our system. Meanwhile, the next Assassin's Creed is announced, and then the Xbox One's the lead SKU. Oh, look at that! Microsoft paid for it. No, you dummies who boycotted them paid for it because what you did was not buy them anything. You spoke with your wallet. Xbox users bought the game. Oh, more people on Xbox like our game. Maybe we should focus on their hardware more. It's going to bite you in the ass either way. Just buy the game if you were interested in it before. I don't see how this news should make you not interested in it at all. If you really care that much about resolution and frames per second, why are you a console gamer in the first place? Go game on PC. You can max out your rig, or at the very least wait for the Steam box. You can max out your rig and get the most graphical power possible because that's what's important to you. You don't care about the features that's coming in Assassin's Creed, the co-op, the story, the environments. You don't care about any of that. None of that matters. What matters the most to you is the graphic, not even the graphics. You don't even care about the graphics. All you care about is the resolution and the frames per second. Why are you on PS4 or Xbox One if that's what you care about?
Yeah, they definitely don't understand the disparity between graphics and resolution because
Yeah,
regardless of all these different resolutions we see, the order still looks absolutely amazing.
game is beautiful as hell. Game is absolutely beautiful. And you know what? They could if they came out and told me that the order was 720p, 30 frames per second, looking like that. Would I care? No. It's still beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
see
if
how
anything,
people struggle to
my
understand that.
if I were as naive as other people, my question would have been like, how the hell did you even do that?
Yeah,
Like, how
I
did
would
you
be.
get such beautiful visuals with that? Like, I don't know. People don't understand. Just like honestly with Drive Club, because you remember there was a big uproar when Drive Club said that they were doing 30 frames per second, or
Hmm.
they were struggling to get to that point. Look at the graphics on that game. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
And if they would have had to sacrifice graphics to get high resolution and frames per second,
resolution. It
I'd
wouldn't
be
be worth it.
pissed.
If they had to sacrifice the weather and the day night cycles, it wouldn't be
Exactly.
worth it. It's better to have all that stuff that actually impacts gameplay versus just 30, 60, like just to have 60 frames per second. You'd rather sacrifice things that directly affect your gameplay.
Yeah.
How are you a
Do
gamer
not
then? I don't
understand.
understand that.
Do you guys think that Ubisoft should have just like kept their mouth shut and, you know, not even say
That you
anything?
know what I do wonder about that because, well, actually, with how ridiculous people are now, the game would have come out. You people would have looked at the back of the box, and we'd still be talking about this now
Not even. They would have waited for Digital Foundry or some other fanboy brewing
to
site to do
release
this,
it.
and they would have attacked. It would have been,
It's like
and it would have been, and the
some site
information would
would
have
be
came
like, I
out
got
right
a
before.
review copy, and I can't get it over 900 frames per. I mean, over 30 frames per second,
Yeah,
and then we'd be talking about this again. So I guess they just go ahead and talk about it now and get it out of the way.
I commend them honestly, and I think more companies need to do this. I commend them on their honesty and their transparency.
Yeah.
They didn't hide this or anything like that. They didn't pretend that the game was 1080p the entire game, and then months later it's found out that during multiplayer it's not 1080p. But that's fine because only the right company did that, right? No one complained about that, right? Damn hypocrites. But yeah, that's okay. I'd rather they come out and say, yeah, it's only 900p, 30 frames per second. Here's why this is the case. Outline it A to B. They tell you why. I mean, what else is there to argue about? Because now going forward, I answered that already. Next topic. Let's show more gameplay.
And then it's locked in, if I'm not mistaken, at this. I don't think people understand how much of a deal that is too.
Yes, it is. Because you don't realize when they say 60 frames per second, usually it'll say 60 frames per second. It won't be 60 frames the entire game.
All the time. Like, that is actually more of a logical step between what's happened with last gen and now. Because last gen you had the fluctuating frame rates all the time. And now we get these developers that actually can lock it in at a certain frame rate. And we don't have to worry about that dip. Like Drive Club said that it could have been higher, but it would have been going back and forth. We locked it in at this, so we know what we're working with.
Yep.
But I don't know.
I just don't get it. Like, and that's the other thing. Like, this is gonna sound like I'm hating on the PS4. All right, you're not gonna get Assassin's Creed this holiday season. Cool. What games are you gonna be playing on your PS4?
Well, there's a lot of other third-party games. A lot of
they're all
third-party games.
Yeah, what exclusives have they got that coming that's going to be 1080p 60 frames per second?
The exclusives are lacking.
I'm not even trying to be an asshole. Right now, list them. Exclusive PS4 1080p 60 frames per second. This holiday season, list them all. Go.
Little Big Planet 3.
All right, I'm done. If that's the first game you're going to, that's it. No, and that's my point. If I own a PS4,
it's irrelevant. It is irrelevant.
I wouldn't care. I'm looking for good games. Both systems right now are looking for good games. Difference is Microsoft has quality games coming. They're exclusives. You don't this holiday season. PS4's games are coming next year. Well, they both have games coming next year, but you get what I'm saying. So it's like Assassin's Creed, pretty big deal IP. People like it. People on the PlayStation brand have liked it. If I own a PS4, I don't care. If the game looks good, I'm getting it. Because as of that, what else am I going to be playing?
You know what? I haven't played Last of Us yet, but we have it here. I'm going to play it and see if there's even a big difference between the 60 frames and, like, if it's worth.
I promise you, there's not a big difference between Last of Us on PS3 and PS4. The only thing I could see people getting it for is the fact that I never played this game on my PS3. Let me see what the hoopla is about. Those people, I support. I'm like, you've never played the game, so you want to get the best version. Go ahead. But the people who are like, oh, I have to buy this again. It was so amazing. Let me pay another $50 to play the same game I just paid $60 to play 12 months ago. I'm starting to get a headache. I'm not even.
No, there is a difference. It does look a lot better on PS4. I gotta admit that.
But my thing is it like relevant to the game? Like, I think Mike touched on it briefly because I kind of tuned out for a second. But the only genres where that makes a difference, I think personally, is fighting games.
Yes.
And certain types of racing games.
You're playing fighting games. You're playing like a simulation racer. You're playing, and even for racing games, while it matters, I'm like,
it's not even that important.
Not really that important.
I guess it would actually be more important in a first-person shooter than it would.
First-person shooter, yes, I can see that in first-person shooters. I can see it. I can definitely see it in fighting games. You gotta hit 60 for fighting games because that's all the lingo for fighting games when they talk about frames and advantage and whatnot. It's all based on the 60 frames per second model.
Right, and it's not even that hard for a fighting game to get to that point.
And it's not hard for fighting games to get there. Yeah, they don't have an excuse really. That I can understand. But for an action platformer, for an RPG, like why does that matter? Why? Most people who play RPGs on PC aren't playing them at 60 frames per second because it doesn't matter.
Pointless.
It's pointless. Like, why would you just strain your PC for no reason? Like, why do that? Just play it, let your PC be comfortable, you sit there, be comfortable, enjoy the gameplay and the story. Gee, I wonder what Assassin's Creed is going to be really selling. Gameplay and story. Let's talk about resolution and frames for a second. Because that's what matters for Assassin's Creed. Because all the other Assassin's Creeds I've played were all 1080p 60 frames per second on my PlayStation consoles, correct? That happened? All the other ones were? Hell, didn't they have to patch in 1080p later on for Black Flag?
Oh, I didn't
I
even
didn't.
know
I
that.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, it wasn't 1080p at launch. They patched that in afterward.
Wow. Well, a big question has been presented, in the wake of this whole resolution gate thing. People want to know, will Ubisoft lock the resolution of Far Cry 4 on consoles?
If they do, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Like,
I would say
I,
Far Cry is a first-person shooter, so I guess 60 frames per second might be a little bit more important for them to
but
hit. For
but
them
if they
to,
can't reach it, if they can't reach it on the Xbox, then uh, that
yeah, I
sucks.
agree. If they can't reach it on Xbox, lock it at a stable rate, make the game look pretty, make sure the gameplay is still intact. I don't have a problem. That shit could be 10 frames per second. If I'm having fun play the game, I don't care.
Exactly.
The people need to understand there's a difference between graphics and resolution. There's a difference between graphics and frames per second. Those two things are not the same. You can have an ugly ass game that's 1080p, 60 frames per second, and a gorgeous game that's half of those resolutions and frames per second. Doesn't
Yep.
matter. In
Yep.
addition to that, what matters if all of that shine is there but the substance isn't? But when you tell people that, oh, you're deflecting, you're making excuses, you're an Xbot, like, what are you talking about? I'm saying this because I would really be disturbed if people on PlayStation 4s missed out on a potentially quality title. That's why I'm saying this. I don't want my friends who game but don't really game to the point where they're in the loop with all the fanboys on the internet. They just game because they enjoy it. I don't want them to go to GameStop, talk to some clerk that's on M4G or NeoGAF, and who tells them, "Don't buy this game. There's a campaign against it. It's being held out on the PS4 because Microsoft paid them. Speak with your wallet." I don't want them to go through this crap. That's why I'm saying this stuff.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate though and assume that, maybe Ubisoft are trying to be politically correct and, make sure that, all gamers on all both platforms are, getting an equal experience. Like,
Okay.
is that a wrong thing for holding back the PS4 version?
For a
Like if
multi-platform
it could
centric,
run at higher resolution and run fine at that higher resolution.
if
Is that a bad
it's
thing?
for a multi-platform centric company like Ubisoft, I don't think it's a bad thing.
I can
I,
see that. Yeah.
yeah,
I'd only see it
just
as a bad thing if it's an exclusive to the console. If it's an
right.
exclusive, maximize it to that console's ability. If it's a
Yeah, because
multi-platform,
you have more development time for it.
exactly. You have more development time. You have less different infrastructures to worry about. Because that's the thing. It's not about just getting the game to run at 60 frames per second. It's all about getting it to run and the system work at 60 frames per second. So you have to make sure that the system's not overheating. You have to make sure that the game isn't constantly freezing or restarting. All these things take into account into your experience. I don't want to get a game just to it's 60 frames per second, 1080p. I'm like, yeah, I start the game, I start playing, and then my system shuts off, or I
Yeah,
lose my game save, or it just restarts. I don't want to deal with that. That takes me out of the experience. I want it to be as smooth as possible in terms of my experience. If doing that means 900p, 30 frames per second, so be it. Now, I mean, I would ideally like for multi-platforms to also try to make the best game possible, but you have to take into account they have limited time to do so, and they're trying to make a game that works on more than one standard hardware. And that's just when you consider consoles. The fact that the game's also coming on PC, where they have to worry about numerous types of rigs, like no, they don't have the time or energy or even the money to do all of that.
right.
That's
And then
unfortunate.
I can see if we were talking about the Xbox and PlayStation version being dropped down to what the Wii U maxes out at.
Yeah,
But as far as between these two consoles, it's not even that big a difference.
it's
Like,
not.
if I have to sacrifice between waiting extra months for them to get that extra 100 and what 80p, I'd just rather get the game when it's level for both consoles. Because like I remember how frustrating I was waiting when we had to wait when Final Fantasy 13, like it had a release date and then it got announced for the Xbox and we had to wait for that whole development cycle. Like
Yeah,
that really sucked. And if I were on the opposite side and we had to wait just because PlayStation 4 game on a multi-platform title had to wait for them to get that 180p, which it doesn't. Like I guess people just think they hit a slider like on Watch Dogs and it just goes
That
up.
they legitimately think that it's a click of the button and it works. They
They
think it's
have to
magic.
balance all of these things. Like the increase in frame in the screen in the frame rate and the resolution has to be balanced with everything else that's going on with the CPU and the GPU. So that's more time being
Not
spent
to mention
developing a
all
title.
those frames, 60 frames per second. Now we have to go through all the thousands of animations we have and make sure they look
And
just as natural and fluid in 60 frames instead of 30.
yep, I don't. I'm fine with it being a level playing ground with multi-platform. How different were multi-platform titles last gen anyway? How
Not
much of a
very different.
difference?
Not very different.
You had to have a YouTube video split down the middle with comparisons to even see a remote difference.
And the thing that gets me is if you only have a PS4, what do you care about how the Xbox version of the game plays anyway? You can't play the Xbox version. You can only play the PS4. If I only have an Xbox One, I don't care how the PS4 version works. I can't play that version. So even if the PS4 version is better, you only have an Xbox One, you get that version. Even if the Xbox One version was better. And yes, this is going to become as a shock. There have already been multi-platform games that have come out that have gasp run better on the Xbox One. Didn't matter though, because if you only have a PS4, that's the version you're getting. It doesn't matter if the PS4 Strider and Thief ran better on Xbox One. You can't play that version if you don't have the hardware. Or maybe you don't care because you want to play this on a platform where more of your friends are, or the controller you're more comfortable with, or the network infrastructure you're just used to, which is all valid reasons. To then get it on that version. The differences between these games isn't big enough to qualify for you to just be like, oh, I don't like this controller or the online. I don't really have friends who want to have it on this console. But man, that 180p difference, yo, I got to get that version. Who says that? Like, what? No, that doesn't even make sense. The fact that there's serious things going down in gaming right now, serious issues that's going down in gaming, and I don't even mean in terms of the corruption and all. No, I'm talking about in terms of like studios getting shut down and companies losing jobs, developers not getting paid bonuses because of sites like Metacritic and whatnot, where their reviews don't meet a certain number. So even though they sold well past their expectations and the game is quality, because it's not being reviewed zero point 0.5 high enough, oh, you don't get your bonus. Those are real issues that we should be talking about right now. We should be talking about all these games that are coming and whether or not they're quality, or if they look promising, or if they look unique or interesting. We're talking about the resolution and frame rate of a game. But gee, didn't we do that last generation? Why are we still doing that? It's 2014. We're on new hardware. The hardware is stronger. Why are we still having these conversations? Why do
Yeah.
people still expect consoles to compete with PC? It can't happen. It won't happen. The only advantage PC consoles have is that it's uniform hardware, and even then, it's not even that much of a deal because there's two of them. There are three of them technically. It's just that people are being punks and not supporting Nintendo like they're supposed to. And in addition to that, you only have to work with that hardware for years to come, so you have more time and experience to learn and adapt and improve. Games are going to only get better on all three consoles, honestly. For the Xbox and PS4, they've only been out a year. Can you relax? You're expecting the best the consoles can do a year into launch? And what world you live in? When has that ever been the case? You think the PS2's launch, the games were looking the best the PS2 had to offer 1 year into launch? Do I need to remind you people of Orphan? You think the Xbox 360 launch titles were the best looking games and playing games there? Perfect Dark Zero? No. So like, why are you expecting that now? I don't understand. This is why I just get angry when I try it, and this is why people say, "Oh, Hayden thinks he's better than people. That's why he doesn't talk to people. That's why he doesn't read comments. That's why he doesn't respond to Twitter or Facebook messages, or just doesn't talk to it." No, I don't talk to you people that are saying these things because there's nothing that I'm going to gain talking about with you except a headache. I'm not old enough that I should just be having migraine headaches talking to people. That makes no sense to me. I'd rather just play games or talk with people who, even if they don't agree with everything I think about games, at least I know at the end of the day, after that conversation's over, they're actually going to go sit down and play games. They're not going to be on NeoGAF talking about games instead of actually playing them. That's the issue I have with this. We're still sitting down talking about resolution and frames per second, not matching PC versions. As if this is news, as if this is a giant conspiracy, and somehow the conspiracy is on Microsoft's part. Because yeah, the Xbox version, I don't even have anything else to say. I'm done. And
Yeah,
I leave this to you too.
you guys both summed it up really well. I mean, we shouldn't be talking about resolution like this. We should, wait until the game comes out, play it, and just say what we think about the game itself. I mean, resolution doesn't matter that much as long as the game performs like it's supposed to.
I'm waiting for the first person that's going to come out when that. Let's say, and I'm not saying it's going to. Throwing a hypothetical, because I don't care for reviews based on scores anyway. I care that you actually write the review and people read them. I think we need to do away with scores on reviews, but that's another topic. Unity comes out, gets like an average 8 to 9 out of 10, which is great, right? Oh, how's it getting those reviews scores? How's it reviewing so high if it's only 900p, 30 frames per second? That's going to happen. Any site that gives it a 9 or 8, where'd you take off the points for the resolution and the frames? People
With
are
that
going
being
to say this.
said, has a game ever been outside of a fighting title? Has a game ever been negatively reviewed because of resolution and frames per second?
I don't believe so, but
I
I mean, I
mean,
could be wrong. I'm not sure actually because I don't look for that crap.
I've
But
seen
But,
it.
but
I've seen it
if it,
mentioned. If the game performs badly, I've seen it mentioned. Like if the frame rate drops a lot and
yeah,
everything. But
exactly.
yeah,
If
that
it
makes
drops,
sense. Yeah,
it makes sense. But like
yeah.
with this current generation of locked in, frames per second, like I don't think we're ever gonna see a review with that in there from any rational person. And to
No,
the
but that's what I'm saying.
irrational
It's not
people,
going to be the review writer unless it's the homeboyreviews.org or something. I'm talking about like when like actual people write these reviews or whatever, or make these videos or whatever. It's going to be the people, the fanboys on NeoGAF and M4G that are like, oh, conspiracy. How did it review that high? Why didn't you take off the points for the resolution and the frame rate? This game is no higher than a 7 because it's only 900p. There are going to be people that say stuff like this. I'm not making this up. I've seen people say stuff like this in the past about games. They were saying this stuff last gen.
well,
That's why
I
I just
know.
don't understand. There's no progress. There's no advancement. People are just ignorant, and then that's fine. But they stay ignorant. You have internet access. There's books. Read a damn book. You play video games. You've experienced video games. How do you? It's like in this day and age, if you're ignorant, you're doing so because you're choosing to stay ignorant.
yes,
And
I
I
absolutely
can't
agree.
get along with people like that because they don't add anything to society. They don't add anything to gaming. All they do is hold it back. This is not a serious conversation we should be having. I can't believe I just sat here for 20 minutes talking about this. Assassin's Creed Unity. I have all this time talking about Assassin's Creed Unity. No one's talking about gameplay. Co-op looks amazing. The new animations they're showing off for the game look amazing.
Oh, and the
setting, the
freaking
story,
the story trailer. Now that we finally have that, oh, this looks like one of the better Assassin's Creeds. Period.
but nobody cares though. 900p, 30 frames per second. That's the headlines. Let me
You know,
do an experiment. I'm
I
about to go
just remembered.
n4g.com. Yeah, I'm putting them on blast. Let's go do that. n4g.com. Enter. And I'm just gonna look. I'm just gonna read the top headlines that have anything to do with Assassin's Creed. Oh, Ubisoft's reason to downgrade PS4 version of Assassin's Creed is quite genius. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the first thing. That's the hottest topic on N4G. Let's look at the rest. Let's look at the rest of the topics mentioning. Oh my god! Come on, man. Come on. Like, it's just that's anything that mentions Assassin's Creed. That's what they're talking about. No one's talking about gameplay.
Yo, I just remembered, man. This game has had some really negative press. Like, because remember, first it was about the lack of female characters, and now
Yeah,
it's the resolution.
because
Like,
that was a problem. No, these men. There's a game where there's a bunch of men killing other men. We need women killing the men too. Like what? Why does that matter? And
I
yeah,
always with that. I always go back to how many of you played Liberation? Like that's always.
Yeah,
Oh, let's not talk about that. Liberation didn't do very well at all. Female head star. Where was the praise for them for doing that though? No one said anything. No one said anything.
yeah. I feel bad for Assassin's Creed Unity, man, because it just seems like nobody's actually paying attention to the game itself. Like
You know what? The right
it's
people
always
are.
something else.
The right people are.
But that's not the problem. The problem is there's not enough right people.
True.
As elitist and supremacist as that sound, and I'm not even trying to say that because I want everyone to game. I don't care what or who you are. My issue is that the people, everyone that talks about Assassin's Creed now, the majority of them are talking about everything except the game. Assassin's Creed is a video game, though. Why aren't we talking about this?
Yeah.
Why? What happened in journalism the last 5 to 10 years where instead of talking about this game is fun, this game isn't fun. It's this game is racist. This game is sexist. This game isn't the right resolution or it doesn't have enough frames or a resolution. This game is downgraded because this company paid money for it. That's what game journalism is now. It's everything except this game is. Like in terms of the actual gameplay. It's fun, it's not fun. It's repetitive, it's not competitive. It's innovative, it's not innovative. Here's how it is or how it is not. Nope, none of that matters anymore. It's just everything else but. And people are fine with this. I don't get how people are fine with this. Maybe it's because I'm older now, so I'm from a time where that wasn't the case. Maybe it's because I actually like games and I want to just play them and enjoy them. I want to make them. I like everything about games, and I don't care about all the other nonsense because that's irrelevant and those are tangents, and I don't care. And not to mention, if I really cared about frames and all that enough, I know what version of Assassin's Creed to get. I'd get the PC version. Problem solved. I I just don't understand. And when I say these things, I'm labeled a fanboy. I'm labeled a hater. What am I hating on? What am I a fanboy of? I'm a fanboy of games. I hate stupidity. Like the fuck? When did that? When did those bingos? When did that become a bad thing? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think we pretty much all agree on that. I'd like to hear more opinions, man. I think we need to get someone on the show who, is actually really against this whole thing. So hopefully I can find someone, a guest for next week's show. Because I definitely want to hear more, opinions on this thing. Because all I know is when the news story came out, Twitter blew up, and I saw all types of different people talking about it, from hip hop gamer to Torrance Davis, and there was all different opinions, but for the most part, all three of us agree. So yeah, I want to hear what other people have to say. I'm sure the comment section as well will be interesting this week, so I can't wait to read that.
I'll have to take your word for it because I never read it.
Yeah, shouts to Chestnuts and Magnum, and I haven't seen
I
Seth in a
think I've
while.
seen that chestnut. I've heard that chestnut name before. I don't know if he's a person I've seen online, like actual like gaming online, or I'm just confusing him with someone from the Big Bag back in the day. I could be
He
off on
used
that
to
though.
he used to comment on the Bitbag and STFU and play. I know that.
Okay,
So,
okay.
but yeah, I haven't seen Seth in a while. He stopped
I don't know who that
commenting.
is.
I wonder why that is.
I legitimately don't know who that is, so I can't have. I don't have a comment on that.
Uh,
I don't know. I think this is going to be one of the ones that he jumps on. So we'll see what happens.
but yeah, shouts to everyone who comments on the shows and listens every week, and shouts to the Throwdown podcast too.
Yeah, shout
Um,
out to them. It's a quality show. And the
yeah,
comic book. What is the? I can't. I always try to shout out the comic book podcast you guys have, but I never remember the name. I listened to it though, and
The
Sean
beauty
says it's
is
pretty
it the
long.
beauty in the beard
yeah,
or
I
something in
think
the
that's
beard?
what. Yeah, I like that podcast though.
yeah. I need to listen to it because sometimes the shows are long and I don't have time to listen to it. But yeah, I definitely want to listen to more of those. It's really into that stuff. But yeah, that's episode 94.
It's a it's the baby and the beard.
Okay,
My
yeah,
bad.
shouts to those guys. make sure you guys check that out. We also did a quarterly report as well, where we reviewed the last quarter, the last 3 months basically of the year, and in December we'll do the final one of the year. So definitely listen to those podcasts if you haven't already. And in around 6 weeks or so, we're going to be having episode 100 of
Mm-hmm.
the Core podcast, and we're planning to bring back some guests and stuff, some old guests of the show like Edward Velasquez, Anthony Frazier, and we're trying to get on Torrance Davis as well. That would be interesting. And of course, Charles and Michael A. and Richard Bailey if they're available. So
I was gonna say if I'm there, I'll be there just to rub into Charles' face the demise of Destiny.
Yep, we will be talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
what's your stance on Destiny right now, Charles? Because I know you liked it as much as I did before, but a lot of people's opinions have changed on the game. So before we leave, I want to get your thoughts on the game now.
It hasn't changed very much. I haven't been able to play it since I moved. Like I only played the Assassin's Creed because I didn't buy the digital version of Destiny to transfer over to PS4. But we do have a PS3 here, so I'm gonna crank that back up once I get.
But you can only do the transfer if you have the digital. You can't do it with a on disc.
No, you can't do
You
it with
have
the
the
digital.
account. Oh,
Which is
'cause someone told me you could go back and forth on the Xbox 360 on Destiny. Like you can play the 360 version and then you play your character on Xbox One and go back to 360 if you want it.
yeah.
I don't know
My
if that's true.
understanding is that's only on the digital version.
Damn, that's BS. All right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that sucks. Because if it weren't like that, because what bothered me about that is I couldn't get the digital version plus like a limited edition or a collector's edition, which is what I got. So I was limited in that. But maybe there is a workaround. I'll try to figure it out. But back to that question, I still enjoy the game. I haven't even run the raid yet because I'm only level 24 and I don't feel like I'm good enough for it. But I'm about to
How are
pick.
you only on level 24?
I haven't been able to play it. Like I just
I'm a
moved.
dude. I was a 29, and the only reason I'm a 27 now is because I put grade gear, which knocked me to a 27. Then I got another exotic that I figured out how to farm and when I decrypted the engram, I got a exotic chest piece, which was better than the two exotic head pieces I had. So I had to build that up. That knocked me to like a 24, 20. So I worked my way up to a 27 now. I'm at 27 after going from a 29 to a 24 back to a 27.
Well, I have enough. I think I have enough of those.
The
The
70
Vanguard
shards?
the Vanguard points and the other points, the Crucible points, to
Mhm.
buy stuff, but I haven't done that.
I only see that's the rough part. You're at 24. The only way you can get to a 26 is with legendary armor. I would say buy the minimum to get you to 26, just so you can run through the raid. Because after that, all the stuff you have is useless. You're gonna have to buy it. You're gonna have to throw it away and level it all up again when you get rated gear.
Got it.
So
Yeah,
I made the mistake of wasting shards and stuff.
I'm sure I'm gonna shoot up once I actually put more time into it, because
Mhm.
like the last week of me playing was spent just getting invited to people trying to do their weekly stuff.
Yeah.
And I did Crucible a lot because I really enjoy the Crucible.
Oh, I
saw-
did. I play Iron Banner. They've got to fix that. They
I
tried.
I heard there were some issues. What is it?
Yeah. Okay, they made it where it's supposed to be that your true level. So if you're a 30, you run into a 5. That person should have no chance against you because the defense is your actual defense rating. Your weapons work exactly how they say. If you have them maxed out, even better. My problem is I was what, a 26 at the time, I think 27, and I did the Titan shoulder charge. I hit someone with it. It only took away their shield. That move is supposed to be a kill.
Yeah.
After that,
Now,
I legitimately I finished the round, quit, and went back to regular. I'm like, I'm not playing this.
Is this them testing that to make it universally this way, or just for Iron Banner?
It's
Nah, I think it'll
it's
be a
just for Iron
separate
Banner.
thing.
I think it's just for Iron Banner. I don't know. I don't want to play that shit anymore.
It would make sense if it was for Iron Banner because then that would motivate people to level up, and that's
Yeah.
kind of a clever marketing move on their part.
But it's too inconsistent right now because there's YouTube videos of people who are taking their rank 4 characters online. They're going against people that are so much higher than them. It just shows question marks, and they can still wreck them with the starting. You know that starting rifle you find in the beginning mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy was a warlock. He took that rifle online and he was wrecking people with it. That shouldn't even be possible. Like the gun shouldn't even. You should be able to fire every bullet in that gun into somebody that's like a 26, and they should be at half shields maybe.
Yeah.
And that's if they just stood there and let them hit you. Like that makes no sense. This dude was going online slaughtering people, and he was like, I don't understand it. And he was mad because he actually has a level 30. He just wanted to see what was going on because he was recognizing this level 30 was losing the lower level characters, and then he figured out why when he took his level 4 on.
That's crazy.
So it's like inconsistent. They got to fix it. The concept I'm not even against because I understood that it's a different type of crucible where your level and stuff matters, and I'm fine with that because in my opinion, if you're a 26, you can compete with a 30. You just got to put in more work or tag team with someone else. It's just like when you play PvE.
But then you got to wonder what's the point? Like, do you get more items? Do you get better?
I mean, it's the Iron Banner, so you get like your own. Yeah, it's like it's got its own separate bounties and stuff like that.
Yeah, so in vendor and bounties and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the only way I can imagine them
That's
making.
literally the only benefit, though. That's a good question. I don't know why you would play that now.
Through torture, otherwise.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, other than the bounties, there's no benefit. That's it. So unless you're a 30, there's no benefit to playing Iron Banner, honestly.
Nah. Like the only way that I can imagine that making difference is if your classes, the abilities, have more weight in Iron Banner because you know.
Oh no,
you can,
sword.
you can,
The Blade Dancer is still the most OP thing in the world.
hey, you can hate all you want, man. I love it.
Yeah, well, you use it, don't you?
I do, but I also stop people that use
and
it.
there you have it. Yeah, well, yeah, it's easy to stop people who uses it. You use it.
No, I use a shotgun. Is how I put them people down.
Oh my God,
If people stop me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put on my bubble shield. This dude activates the sword, Blade Dancer, and kills everyone on my team in the bubble.
Never mind the fact that they're glass cannons too.
I've hit someone in. Do you realize there's an ability that every single person you kill recharges your health and your shield?
Yep.
So I've hit someone, and I've done this numerous times because I usually run with rockets. Hit them with the rockets, not the regular ones, the ones that explode and do initial damage, and then drop cluster bombs and do additional damage. Hit somebody with that. My man was at half health and cut me. I legit turned my Xbox off and went red above. I'm not. It wasn't. I don't even classify it as a rage quit because rage quit you throw a controller, you're angry. That happened. I politely hit the Xbox button to turn it off, and I grabbed the Shogun book I was reading and I started reading. Because I was like, no, you're not doing this to me. You're not making me angry. Okay, this is my enjoyment, and this crap. This poorly balanced nonsense. Nope. Picked the book up and I started reading and had a good time. I'm not. No, I don't rage quit. I don't have time for that.
All right. Well, I feel you on some of that stuff that's going on, but Gary, I still enjoy the game. I still think that it has long legs. It's just they need to manage some of the balance issues.
Stacy Keebler has long legs. This game is a midget. I don't know why you keep saying that. This game does not have long legs at all, and we will see on episode 100. Tune in.
All right.
Cheap plug. Shout out to Stacy Keebler.
We'll talk about
That's definitely going to be a topic on episode 100. So yeah,
Stacey
we'll bring
Keebler.
that back up then. But yeah, for
Wait,
this
Stacy
week,
Keebler's gonna be a topic or is it Destiny? Because I'd rather talk about Stacy Keebler.
both, because yeah, we definitely got to talk about Stacey.
Okay,
Keebler.
I love you. All right, yeah, continue. Sorry.
Pause.
Not you. I'm saying. Oh my God. Pause. Jesus Christ. All right.
All right.
All right, yeah, that's it for this week. Tune in next week. We out. Peace.
Peace.